In 2011, I came across a concept that would go ahead to change my life for a very long time. It wasn't until 2018 that I actually found this concept very useful. Remember when I came across it, I was like, wow, this is quite profound, and this could mean that everything is kind of interconnected. And that theory was the theory of the law of conservation of mass. Now, the law of conservation of mass is quite simple. It says that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but moved from one form to another. So, which means that the petrol you are using, the fuel you are using from crude oil, came from the fossils, is a conversion of energy or mass of fossil of animals that lived and died on the earth. And these animals that lived and died on the earth all ate food and converted their energy so that they could be big enough. And when they died, their fossil or their skeleton was converted to crude oil. So I was like, if everything is energy, if everything is matter, and nothing can be created nor destroyed, but converted from one form to another. So which means that when you're feeling down, when you're feeling depressed, it's actually a form of energy. You notice sometimes you're feeling down, sometimes you're feeling anxious or depression. You notice that you really do not feel like doing anything. And you might also notice that you have a lot of burden in your heart. At least that's how I felt. So I was like, okay, if this is what it means, if it means that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but move from one form to another, it means that if I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed, it just means that I have a lot of energy. Or let's say I don't have a lot of energy, but I know that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. I know that this depression is a form of matter or mass. Matter. Law of conservation of mass is a form of matter. Everything's matter. So which means that I can convert it from one form to another. And that led me into a rabbit hole of saying, all right, why don't I turn this lowness, feeling down, feeling unhappiness, because each time you're down or depressed, most times you're down or depressed, you feel unhappy, you feel sad, you don't feel like moving. So what if I turn this lack of energy to do anything? What if I just crank myself up a little bit and get shit done? What if I just do that, crank myself up a little bit and get things done? Now, if you have any idea about movement, is it about movement? If you have any idea, okay, Newton's first law of motion says that a body will continue to be at rest, and if in motion, will continue to be in motion in the same direction, at the same speed, except external forces applied on it. So if I need to convert my depression energy to a more productive energy, I need to apply a little bit of that depression energy to push myself into a productive energy. And yeah, it's just like car engines. For you to start up a car engine, you need a kickstarter, or you need to wind the engine a little bit. Now when you start winding the engine, it takes a lot of energy to wind the engine, but once the engine starts moving, it flows on its own. So I was like, okay, if this is it, if everything is matter, if everything is energy, I'm going to find a way to convert my energy into something else. And this has actually been the tipping point in most of the decisions I made from that point forward. Because if you know anything about energy can be transferred through connection, convection, and radiation. Connection means that you're in contact with someone or with that source of energy. Convection means that you guys are in the same medium. Like let's say pineapple, if you put a dye on one end of pineapple, over time it will transfer to the other end. Or let's say radiation is moved by air. So which means that all this basically means that your environment actually dictates a lot about you. So if you start being a more positive person, naturally you start hanging out around positive people. Now, the people that were there with you, or the people that you knew before that choose to hang out around you, your energy will be transferred to them, and you discover that you are more positive. So when you're changing a part of yourself, or when you're becoming less depressed or less. When you're using your, I don't know, when you are becoming a different person, just know that the people around you also feel the effects of it, and this would go ahead to cause a ripple effect, because the people around you are feeling the effects of it and becoming better, thereby making the people around them even better. I think this is a solution to living an happier life. Yes, there will always be people out there that are pieces of dung. There are also people out there that are low lives. Is that the word, low lives? But if we have more positive people, we in turn would, I don't know, just that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, can convert from one form to another. So bye bye.